Hello, welcome back to another video. A while ago, Jesus, it was a while ago, I did a video of just me kind of rambling on, what I thought the best starter in Digimon story, Cyrusooth was. And today we're back and doing that for Hacker's Memory. This will probably do, fine. The last video I did on this didn't do great, but like, who cares? This is for fun. So let's start over looking over the data I gathered on the bosses. As always, I just went to the game facts guide of the game, and I decided to point out everything that was labeled as a boss and write down what it is and its type. So we have, as you notice, we have a lot of early game viruses again, but it's a little bit more varied this time. We have like vaccines with Airdramon, Freeze. We have some datas early on, right? But notably, we are missing the early game data struggles that Jimmy Kent provides, right? That's a very noticeable thing. There's not as many powerful datas because I guess we have the this fight right here with the Coelmon and Seedramon, but there's no reoccurring fights against a particularly challenging data type trainer, right? So that's a big boon for vaccine starters, right? Um, Still, we have a Crusadermon fight because it's a Digimon story game on the PSP. There has to be a Crusadermon fight. Breakdramon, I mean, yeah, a lot of again, there's a lot of er, what we're really looking for is early game viability here. After a certain point, you just branch the evolution trees to branch off so much, and there's so much diversity in what you can grab that there's really not much of a point looking as far as like even the final boss is, right? And again, really this is all up to like opinion based thing, like what the best time change not like, I have time change at the brain, sorry, but what the best Hacker's Memory starter is, and the best starter in any Digimon game because there's such varied options so early on that it's really difficult to pick wrong, right? So what I'm looking for here is early game type matchups and like end game evolution possibilities, right? So let's begin kind of going one by one and eliminating what starters we think isn't it, right? Starting off with Gotsumon. Gotsumon has a few interesting options. You can go through Ankylamon into like Magna Angemon, which gets you a ton of very powerful holy Digimon and just general attackers. And Skullgreymon gets you Shine Greymon, but Shakamon gets you Curvymon, one of the best healers in the game, but you're missing a lot of early game healing going that route. Like Shakamon can do some stuff, but it's not like you're missing a lot of versatile, not versatile, but a lot of healing stuff just by going this route. So I wouldn't personally recommend it. Kalakamon doesn't really get you anywhere. It gets you some decent like mid-range stuff, like some Jundamao mega type style, right? You know what I mean? Where it's not like anything fantastically powerful, but they're just barely bulky enough, just barely hit hard enough where they can get you through the mid game, right? Really just Jundamao, right? So we got stuff like High Andromon for that, and a Craniumon for that as well. Starmon gets you a lot of options into stuff like Justamon, Gankamon, if you want to go that, which is Gankamon is not bad. I think Royal Knight grinding is awful, but you get Omnimon off Mamimon, which is honestly not bad. A lot of work for that, but if you want to do that, and I don't know, it's a lot of work, but Mamimon isn't super strong, and that's a way to get there, right? It can be difficult, obviously. Metal Mamemon gets you High Andromon again, a really solid mid-range option, right? Kachimemon, again, another Jessimon, and Puppetmon is, I don't know, I'm not big on a Pokemon. And then obviously Crestamon gets you another cute Chirubimon, right? Which is, again, Chirubimon's a very good Digimon, right? I don't think this is the route you really want to go for that, because you're not getting again, if you're building for a support line the whole way through, it's really difficult to have that support kick in at exactly ultimate level, right? So moving on from that, Tankmon kind of gets you a few interesting places, but nothing we haven't really seen before. Like Gigadramon gets you Machine Dramon, which is really, Chaos Dramon is really fucking good. So that definitely stands out as like one of the best options from this line, right? And obviously we have the GOAT, the icon, Icemon and Meteormon. Can you really beat it? No, you can't, baby. It's gonna solo. And there's not really much else here. So I don't think this is it. Like obviously it has a few standout options. Like we have Rosemon from Pumpkinmon and Goemon. We have the Machinedramon I mentioned earlier. A few Justamon options, but I just don't really see this going anywhere. Right? It's just we're loaded up with like datas on the mega end, right? Which can be difficult for like variety early on mega champion end. We have like a free and a virus, but I think everything else is data, which is really rough. So I personally wouldn't quite go for this, but it's not a bad option, right? It got solid in game stuff. Moving on to Betamons, our next option here, which is has a lot of it's a lot of virus. So we obviously have a vaccine and a data option, which is solid versatility. Um, Shogunumemon doesn't really get you anywhere any other line would. Gekomon is a very solid special sweeper, not sweeper, but it's a very solid special attacker. Gets you into very bulky water viruses later down the line, which is very nice. Get you into Waymon, a bulky vaccine, which is again bulky vaccine is nice. And you notice that a lot of these will end up with a Marine Angemon, which is an incredible healer. It's one of the best in the game, in my opinion, alongside Rosemon and Chirumimon good. And a lot of them also will get into Plesiomon, which has a really strong interpenetrating move that hits all enemies, great for clearing mob battles, which is really nice. And obviously you have Mega Suit Metal Suitramon into Pokémon, which I guess you can, I mean if you want to grind that out, it is very strong, obviously. Other than really that, like again, Suitramon kind of gets you the exact stuff as Gekomon does. So it gets you access to a lot of the Hisariyama stuff, which is very solid. Gaiamon's very good, Goldramon's very good, Minervamon's insane. And then Vegemon doesn't really get you anywhere, I'll be honest. Like just Titamon, some bug stuff. I don't know. I'm not sold on it. And then Airjamon gives you basically all your Drummon needs. Metal Greymon's nice. Gets you some solid megas. Mega Drummon gets you some Machine Drummon again, right? Which is less of a reason to pick Gotsumon if you're gonna get a Machine Drummon anyway, right? Mega Seedramon, we've already seen that good options, and Wingdramon gets you into Examon, which is fucking nuts, and All Force Vdramon, which is crazy competitively, but not so good with the complete edition nerfs. But if you're playing on like base Cyber Sleuth, All Force Dramon's nuts. It's so crazy. So I would recommend that if you want a base Cyber Sleuth, but if you have the complete edition, it's probably just best to go somewhere else. And our last option, and the one I personally think is the best, that's right, we are overvaluing the early game vaccine again, baby. Let's go! Woohoo! Early game vaccines, woo! Jokes aside, this has incredible versatility. We have champion vaccine, champion virus, champion data, and even a champion free if you want to do that, which is incredible early game versatility for what we want our mega to be. We have Kabuterimon gets us into just a whole host of good bugs. Cherrymon gets us into Puppetmon. Leadamon gets us again to one of the best healers in the game, Rosemon. Like I know I dunked on Palmon in the last video on this because early game data's really sucked in Cyber Sleuth in my opinion. But the fact that this is a late game, it's a very simple path to a late game healer is crazy. And then we have an even better route towards that with Sunflowmon getting us into Lilymon and Rosemon, and as well as Lilymon and Rosemon, right? Also gets you into Angie Woman, which gets you into some crazy endgame stuff. Like Mastermon's really incredible. Ophanimon's really nice, right? There's Stingmon, which gets you again into some crazy damage dealers with Beelzemon Blast Mode. And we have what's it? And we have of course Pale Dramon, which is wild option to have, I'll be honest. It's a really solid free attacker, right? And Waspmon just gets you again a lot of like Gender Mount option type stuff with the Grand Kuagamon or Hercules Kabuterimon, or Dear Boromon's another solid Gender Mount option, and you can't really go wrong with Tiger Respamon in my opinion. Just a really good stopgap if you have some extra moves. Like, you know what, I'll just throw them around to the team, right? So I really do think that we have Tentomon as the best option. I'm nowhere near as biased for this as I am for Terriermon because Terriermon is one of my favorite rookie levels. Tendamon is cool, but I don't think he's like a top tier rookie or anything. So I'm definitely less biased here, and also I really do think that all these early game options really do trump whatever end game stuff there is, and there's good end game stuff. Like there's less options end game, I think, for the other stuff, but I really do think that well, I think it's more options than at least Betamon has, because Betamon, a lot of their end game stuff overlaps because it's due to being all water, right? But Tendamon gets you all the insect stuff, gets you all the plant stuff, it gets you into a lot of DNA digivolution options, right? I think there is still some overlap here, but it's not as much in my opinion, right? So I think Tentomon is definitely a sort of option just for the early game vaccine stuff that I definitely again I know like on a personal like I know that I overvalue early game vaccines just because a lot of early game fights are against viruses, but I still feel like it is too good to pass up, right? I know I'm definitely overvaluing it, but I still think it is good to have just an early game vaccine because in I don't know, it's whatever. So I think that's what I'm gonna call this video. Let me know your thoughts on what you think the best starter is. I'm open to any suggestions on any alternate takes. You know, if there's any one route that very clearly, like that I think clears everything else, right? Um, but I think that's all I'm gonna have for you today. So make sure to oh, it's so cringy, but difficult to say. Fucking whatever. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I know saying it helps the video. I think it's correct. I don't know, but just to do it. All right. Have a great day, everyone, and hopefully you enjoyed the sort of analysis on some Digimon starters.